So would you state your name as it's listed in your yearbook?
Patricia Ann Berger.
Okay, and what high school did you graduate from?
St. Alphonsus High School.
Okay, and when you, where do you live now?
We live at Langdon, North Dakota, 10622 95th Street Northeast.
So you're out by the country club where the big party was last night.
Yes, we are. That's where I walk around almost every day.
Last night when you came in, I saw you come in and you took part in the trivia, and you know, after 50 years and seeing those faces walk through that door, what's it like to be a part of this family or this group? What kind of memories come bubbling to the surface for you?
Well, it takes us back a long time to our school years, I guess, and we had a lot of fun putting the memory book together, especially Rosemary Pelletier, whatever her name is now. Yeah. And we really enjoyed being together with everybody that was there. They were very congenial and very huggy and very wonderful people, just like I left.
So would you state your name as it's listed in the yearbook?
Pat Nowatsky.
All right. And what high school did you graduate from?
St. Alphonsus.
And where are you living now?
We live in Hawaii for 6 months, and then for 6 months we travel in a motorhome on the mainland.
That sounds like a blast.
It's fun. We enjoy it.
Great. You know, when you look at 50 years since graduation and you see these faces coming back through the door, what's it like to be a part of this group, this family? I mean, anything come to mind?
Well, I always thought that we probably had one of the better high school classes ever. There were no cliques. Everybody got along. I was just talking to Eunice Gellner, and she said she never had an argument with any of the girls in the class in 4 years. And I was thinking about it, and I never had an argument with any of the guys. We were just all friends and no cliques. It was just amazing.
State your name as it's listed in your yearbook.
Rosemary Pelletier.
And which yearbook was that? Which school?
1958 at St. Alphonsus.
Excellent. And where are you living now?
In Billings, Montana.
And now, when you get together after 50 years of graduating and you see these faces again, what are some of the things that you remember or that stands out as some of your fondest memories, or maybe an interesting story or something?
The shy ones who have blossomed, and the studly ones that aren't looking so hot. No.
But any particular memories? I mean, basketball games?
Yeah, basketball games, the county tournaments, and the dances afterwards.
Really?
Where you got to meet all the different kids from various towns. It was fun.
So would you please tell us your name as it's listed in your yearbook?
Sally Snyder.
And what yearbook was that? What high school?
St. Alphonsus.
St. Alphonsus. And where are you living now?
Langdon.
Still living in Langdon? Okay. And then when you look at these faces, 50 years after graduation, you got to have some memories. Are there any memories that stand out, or maybe some favorite memories from your high school days?
Oh, sure. All the dances we went to and all the basketball games, and we just had a good time.
You had a good time, and you're still very close with a lot of these people?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that I've noticed is the community, how tight everyone was, and basketball and dances seem to be a common theme. So, how about the teachers? Do you remember anything in particular about the teachers?
Sister, oh my goodness, who was the nun that was?
Well, we'll just say it's Sister so and so.
Yeah, Sister so and so she didn't like me. I didn't like her either. Which one was that, Sister?
Didn't like me either.
Which one was it? Yeah, Sister Anastasia. Yeah.
Sister Anastasia didn't like you very much?
Oh, I didn't like her very much either.
So she made life a little tough at St. Alphonsus?
Yeah. Because I used to cry, and she used to say, "What are you crying for?" She really hurt my feelings.
Could you state your name as it's listed in your yearbook?
Sandra Gellner.
And what yearbook was that? What high school?
St. Alphonsus.
Okay. And where are you living now, Sandra?
Hawthorne, California.
Okay. And now, after 50 years, seeing these faces come walking through the door, you must have some emotions or some memories bubbling to the surface. What about this class and this group do you remember most?
I guess what really stood out, I only went 1 year, my freshman year, and Tom Stremick and I were the king and the queen of the freshman class. So that stands out. I'm sorry he's not here for me to see after all these years. And it's just that everybody's just so nice. I mean, I drove a long ways to get here, but it's well worth it. All the people, they treat you like you just left. They treat you like it was just yesterday, you know. And it's and then I found out that your dad, when I was a kid, went from Langdon to Dresden on his bicycle to see me, you know. But he pretended like he was going to see my brothers, okay? So, you know, things like that, they all come out, you know.
I'm learning a lot about Larry Wow this weekend.
Yeah, so.
What's your name?
Ted Schuler.
And you went to which high school?
St. Alphonsus.
St. Alphonsus. And where are you living now?
Leeds, North Dakota.
In looking at this group after 50 years, it's been a long time. What was it like to be a part of this group? I mean, what's this group mean to you?
I really feel young.
And any stories or memories that you can think of that you want to share?
There's so many stories you'd have to. I mean, this could take days and days and days. Just looking at this girl right here, you know, I could tell.
And what girl is this? You guys say
it's Mary Ellis Lansgard. It used to be. Yeah, she had a tough crush on me, you know, and I tried everything to satisfy her, but I couldn't.
Did you state your name as it's listed in your yearbook?
Tom Clary.
What school did you graduate from?
St. Alphonsus.
And where are you living now?
Chicago area.
Okay, same question that I asked the others. You know, after 50 years, you must see these faces again and maybe have some memories bubbling to the surface or, you know, some feelings. What's it like to be a part of this group?
Oh, I don't know. This has always been a real good group, even all the way through high school, and really enjoyed coming here and seeing them all over the years.
How many reunions have you been to?
I think I've attended about maybe 10 of them over the years. So.
Could you state your name as it's listed in your yearbook?
Beverly Sheppy.
Beverly Sheppy. And where are you living now?
1114 5th Street, Langdon, North Dakota.
Okay. And you went to St. Alphonsus?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And when you get together 50 years after graduation and start to see these people again, what are some memories of high school? Or what are maybe some of the things that stand out?
Well, we were all pretty good friends, and we had a lot of fun together. And I can always remember Sister Anastasia telling us to be sure and look into the background of the one that you were going to marry.
That's good advice.
That's true. And one thing that I did that was really bad, it wasn't in school, but Tom Stremick was working in Penny's, and there was some of us in there horsing around. I can't remember who it was that bought a pair of shoes, and I wanted to hide them on her so that she would look around, try and find them, and I stuck them in the garbage can. In the meantime, Tom had taken the garbage out to burn. So that was one of the bad things that happened. And another good thing that happened, I think, in high school is that my religion really became meaningful to me.
That's awesome. What is your name as listed in the yearbook there?
Dale Stremick.
And Dale, where are you living now?
Langdon.
What high school did you graduate from?
SAS.
Now, after 50 years, you see these faces walking through the door. 50 years ago. It must bring back a flood of memories. Any one person or event or story stick out in your mind that you'd want to share with anyone?
No, I know a lot, but I ain't going to share them.
What about, did you go to a lot of different events, basketball games and dances, stuff like that? So.
Yeah.
And then you still pretty close with a lot of your high school friends?
Well, kind of, yeah, when they come around.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I married one of them.
You married one of them, and who was that?
Sally.
You met your wife at St. Alphonsus?
Yeah, she run me down.
So could you state your name as it's listed in the yearbook?
Dan Hufford.
And which high school did you graduate from?
St. Alphonsus.
And where are you living now?
Near Bemidji, Minnesota, a little bit east on Lake Andrusia.
And, after 50 years, seeing these faces come through the door again, What's it like to be part of this group, or what do you remember specifically about this group? Or is there any memories of high school that come bubbling to the surface?
Oh, I remember a lot of them, but some of them I don't recognize. Some of them don't have any hair anymore. The gals all look really good yet.
So the guys are a little bit more weathered than the gals, huh?
I think they are, yeah. Must have been a tougher life.
Could you please state your name as it's listed in the yearbook?
Ediane Sheppy,
Ediane Sheppy. And what school did you attend?
St. Alphonsus School.
And where are you living now?
Out on the farm by Osnabrück, but moving into Langdon in a couple of weeks.
Okay, and if you had to just give a few highlights since graduation, anything you want to share in the last 50 years, some major highlights?
Well, I think it's great. Most of our class is still around, and a lot of them are right around Langdon.
And if you look back at your high school days, what's the one thing that stands out maybe as a memory or a story that just, about high school or your relationships?
I think when we look back at high school, we had all nuns, so we had to behave ourselves most of the time.
Did you manage to do that?
Most of the time.
Let's have you state your name as it's listed in your yearbook.
Eunice Gellner.
What school did you go to?
St. Alphonsus.
And where are you now?
Seattle, Washington.
When you look back 50 years and see these people again, what are some of your favorite memories of high school?
The relationships between both schools. I mean, we not only had our classmates, but we had the Langdon High, and just the community, and the parents and the because you knew everybody. Right. Your classmate, you knew the older brother or sister or the younger one, and the same thing as the Langdon High. We all dated kids from the Langdon High, and they, back and forth, and a lot of community where your parents would have to drive you here and drive you there, and stuff like that, and lots of fun. I remember one time, I think it was Earl, got a bottle of wine, and there were 8 of us in the car. 8 in the car. And we all had that wine. We all passed it around. With 8 people, you didn't get... So that was my first experience doing something like that. But we just had a lot of fun. We had a lot of get-togethers, a lot of basketball games, and stuff like that.
Would you state your name as it's listed in your yearbook?
Florine Sauer.
And where are you living now, Florine?
Grand Forks, North Dakota.
What high school did you graduate from?
St. Alphonsus.
Now, when you get together 50 years after graduation and you look at these faces, memories must start coming back. And do you have any particular fond memories of high school, or does anything come back as you look at these faces again?
I remember that I know for sure I'm a lot older now than what I was then.
So what kinds of things do you remember about high school? I mean, is it the community, or is it the particular events that you went to? Were you pretty active as a class?
I can remember that there was a group of us that stuck together, and that was Dennis and Norby and Danny and Tom Clary and myself and Ediane. We pretty well stuck together, and I guess you'd say tore around together.
Tore around, caused maybe a little trouble, just a little bit of trouble?
A little bit. Not much. We were good kids.
So could you state what your name is in the yearbook?
Greg Bimler.
And what yearbook, what class did you graduate with?
St. Alphonsus.
Okay, where are you living now?
North of Dresden.
And, looking back over 50 years, seeing these faces walk through the door again, what's it like to be a part of this group, or what memories come back?
I don't know. It's good to see a lot of people anyway. Sure. Some are very familiar, some are not so much. Some people change more than others, I guess.
But it still seems to be a pretty tight-knit family.
Yes, it does. Very much so.
So would you state your name as it's listed in your yearbook?
Irene Geardat.
And what high school did you graduate from?
South
St. Alphonsus.
That's all right. You almost said salsa, right?
No, I often say where I live. No.
Where do you live?
We live in South St. Paul.
South St. Paul.
Outskirts of St. Paul.
Okay. Yeah. And, 50 years after graduation, to see these people again in this room, what's it like to be a part of this group? What do you remember about this group in particular?
Oh, we had the best class there was, and the most fun.
And what made them the most fun? What kind of things did you do as a class?
Oh, yeah.
And you don't have to give too many details.
To tell. Oh, it's hard to remember, but we did a lot of things together. We had a good time.
That's great.
Yeah, and then we finally got the classmate Lillian. Larry worked on her. I worked on her and called her, and we finally got her to come after, this is the first time she's been here.
And worth all the effort.
Yes, it was. It was, yeah. And then it's kind of fun because there's classmates that I went to school with all year, like Sally, Chlorine, me, and Carol Snyder, and there's somebody else. Gary Curtis. He's not here yet, though.
Well, welcome back.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I can't believe it's 50 years.
Could you state your name as it's listed in your yearbook?
James Snyder.
Okay, and what school did you graduate from?
St. Alphonsus.
St. Alphonsus, okay. I know it's been a while since graduation, so good for you to remember that it was school. No, it's not a trick question. So, James, where are you living now?
Lompoc, California.
Okay. And when you look back now, 50 years of graduation, what's it like to be part of this family that is the graduating class of 58?
It's kind of strange to see all these people that I don't really recognize anymore.
What's it like to be here today?
Oh, it's great. Nice weather, just like California.
So let's start with state your name as it's listed in the yearbook.
Okay, I'm Joanne Snyder.
Okay, and what high school did you graduate from?
St. Alphonsus in Langdon.
And where are you living now?
Still live in Langdon.
Awesome. And when you see these people after 50 years, after graduation, what comes to mind? Any memories, any feelings of, what was it like to be a part of this group or this family?
Well, we were a very close-knit class, and we all had a ball. It was so much fun, and it's great seeing everybody again, especially some we haven't seen for 50 years.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. We have a lot of get-togethers, and we always have a really good time.
Would you state your name as it's listed in the yearbook?
Oh, golly. I think it's listed as Lillian Martineau, but everyone calls me Lily.
Was it St. Alphonsus?
It was indeed.
And where are you living now?
St. Paul, Minnesota.
Okay. And seeing these faces after 50 years after graduation, what's this like for you?
I just can't they all look fine.
She just saw someone that walked through the door as an old friend.
Well, this is Irene's husband, so I know him.
Yeah, we only live 2 blocks away.
I know.
I ain't seen her in 10 years.
So this is quite a group that you're attached with here after 50 years. What's it like to be a part of this group, and what memories do you maybe have of high school?
Well, I've never come to these. I've been building a business, and Irene has been just bugging me and saying, you've got to come, it's our 50th. And I thought, I got to do this for me. You know what I mean? And I was nervous, apprehensive, excited, all of those things to come and see these people, And so I just look around and I can pick out the faces from my youth, even though they're older. We're all older.
We just want to welcome you back.
Thank you.
Would you state your name as it's listed in your yearbook?
Mary Alice Lansgard.
And what yearbook was that? What school did you go to?
St. Alphonsus, class of 1958.
And where are you now?
I'm in a little town called Palestine, spelled like Palestine, Texas, and we call it the Holy City.
Excellent. And, okay, getting back together 50 years after graduation, and seeing these people again, what are some memories that maybe stand out of your high school time with these people?
Oh, I guess basketball tournaments and getting together at Fred Holly's and dancing, having Cokes, having hamburgers, getting... Your dad used to have some wonderful parties in the basement. We play spin the bottle.
I'm learning a lot about Larry Wilde this weekend.
Yeah, and he will. He was wonderful. We just had so many. I mean, we were all so close. We had very few nerds in our high school. It was great.
Could you state your name as it's listed in the yearbook?
Norbert Snyder.
And what high school did you graduate from?
St. Alphonsus.
And where are you living now?
Langdon, North Dakota.
All right. And now as you see these faces walk through the door after 50 years of being together, you obviously have some memories or some emotions that bubble to the surface. What's it like being a part of this family or this group?
Oh, it's wonderful. I'd like to see some of them I haven't seen in 20 years, some that's longer than that, and some I've seen 10 years ago.
Anything from high school stand out as a memory that you're fond of? Or I know you can't share everything, but...
Well, yeah, we had a lot of fun. We gave the nuns a pretty bad time, I know that. Our teachers, which was a bad deal. And I think your dad broke a window up in the chemistry lab.
You know, I am learning so much about Larry Wilde this weekend.
Somebody threw a stopper and hit the window and broke it. Sister Anastasia said that's the cold outside and the warm inside.
Would you state your name as it is listed in the yearbook?
Larry Wilde.
And what high school did you graduate from?
St. Alphonsus High School in Langdon, North Dakota.
Larry, where are you living now?
In Bismarck, North Dakota.
Okay. I'm doing your interview last because this is I've heard a lot of stories about Larry Wilde this weekend. And this is your chance at a rebuttal, if you will. Can you? Where do we go from here? You know, as your son, I've got enough extortion material for the rest of my life. What's it like to be a part of this group? And would you like to say anything to all the stories that I've heard about you this weekend?
They're all lies, but it's really been a fun group to be involved with. They all come back time after time after time, and you just don't feel like you've ever been apart. You know, It's really a neat experience, God. I'm really glad that I'm a part of this. I really am.
What about some of these stories? You were a hellion as a kid.
Yeah. Yes, I was.
So, truth be told, did you throw the stopper through the window, or was it really the cold?
It was a stopper.
Okay.
I was sitting there in class, and Sister Albert was up at the board and drawing up, some figures, and I reached over next to me. There was a drawer full of stoppers, that you put in chemical bottles, and I picked one up, and I was fooling around with it. And Jimmy Benoit was sitting across the room from me, next to the window, reading a newspaper. And I thought, Jimmy, you can't get away with that. So I threw the stopper at him. He went through the paper and through the window. God, I couldn't believe it. And Sister Alba turned around and said, what happened? And everybody said, I don't know. The window just shattered. And she said, God, must have been the cold on the outside and the heat on the inside. Everybody said, oh, yes.
So you got away with one.
Yeah, so at noon I had to run downstairs and fetch the stopper off the front lawn. Oh, God.
Well, welcome back.
Lots of memories. God, they're great.